I was revisiting this song, "The Last Resort" by the Eagles, which is one of my favorites from them and in general. I'm a big fan of the Eagles, but I feel like they've gotten a bad rap as being cheesy. They're super good. Their music's great. There's so many great songs that they did, and their recordings are super tight and suitably technical. Anyway, this is a beautiful song and tells the tragedy of the American West really, really beautifully. Um, but there was one line that got me this time. There's a couple. I mean, there's so many great lines in this song. This one, it's talking about imperialism of the West in the Americas and white people taking over native lands and cultures and just mowing it over with their own culture and designs, no regard for anything. Um, so yeah, this is talking about. I think this is talking about Hollywood, Malibu, pretty people playing hungry for power. Um, they have nothing to do but light their own neon ways. Anyway, actually, that's not even that's not even the line that I was thinking about, but that is a great one. Um, yeah, this is basically the story of Chinatown with what's his name? One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Jack something. It's a good movie. Uh, and then we moved on to Hawaii. And yeah, this is more these two lines right here. These two are pretty obvious. That's like the basic what we know of ourselves as a Western conqueror of the world, at least economically. But I really love these two lines and how they're stated. Just moving into a place and deciding for everybody what's theirs and what's ours and what's theirs between them. Just arbiter, judge and jury on hapless people doing what they were already doing, but we'll provide the grand design. We'll fill it all up with our stuff and decide what's yours. But I really like this line from an ecological perspective. Yeah, I mean, once the new world was discovered fully and settled, like that was it. Like that was the end of habitable lands for humans to fill up. We'd already filled up Asia and Europe and Africa. and the habitable parts of Australia for the most part. Antarctica and Alaska are like Alaska is habitable, obviously, but it can only support so many people who are willing to live in a harsh environment like that. We've got no more new friend here, and so it's this or nothing. But what's interesting about that is that you would think, um, like with animal species, when they take up all the space that they have that's habitable to them, they are technically overpopulated, and then there will be a dearth of resources, food, whatever else they need, and their populations will decline. Some will die of starvation. The only option for a species is to take that autocorrection in lesser doses by submitting to it, or pretend it's not there and continue to grow until the bubble pops, however big that bubble ends up being. Obviously, no other species has the foresight to do that, but they also have the instinct to just submit to the powers that be. I get sick and die. I get a cut. It gets infected. I die. You think about troops of chimpanzees expanding in their forest, one little clan gets too big to kind of manage or ends up taking too many resources in their immediate habitat. And so it's too many. And so maybe some will break off and start their own troop in the neighboring section of the forest. Animals have territories, they mark them, they know where their boundaries are. So theoretically, as the numbers of chimpanzees grow, more groups will branch off and take up other sections of the forest. But then what happens when there's no more forest and all the sections are taken up? That's the situation we're in. And the question of how it would most gently self regulate populations in that situation. So this line's loaded. This is it. It's all or nothing. If we don't make it here, we're gonna die. Um, or we're gonna make it here or die trying. We gotta do this right. But it's almost like they came at it aggressively. And instead of like considering natural limitations like that, like the ones we're discussing here, it's more like let's master it and that'll be that. We'll have done it. We'll have conquered the earth. There was something else too, but I forget what it is now.